I'm Ace Cuervo. I'm a local photographer. I specialize in weddings and events, and this is my hobby. It's my relatively new hobby. My kids, for the longest time, called it shadow puppets. I didn't know quite what I was doing, but I came into this kind of in a weird way. My brain works in different ways, and I started, I guess, a long time ago as a black and white photographer, and like everybody else, I would photograph shadows, and sometimes I'd photograph like a weird wrought iron sconce or something like that, and I was more interested in the shadow that it cast. So shadow art eventually came about as a game, as a bunch of puzzles. I guess they're art, but more than anything, I like them because they're fun conversation pieces. So I started creating more and more. I barely have a website presence. Everything is just usually word of mouth. I'll post one or two to Facebook or social media, or I'll have one in a show somewhere. And then somebody calls me and says, hey, I want something like that for my husband. Hey, I want something like that. And that's kind of how these are. It's a unique little cool conversation piece of art for the guy that has everything. And since that has kind of evolved, now I've gotten into where in the tangle of the metal itself, I'm actually also adding things that, my client, who is eventually going to get this as a gift, is into. So I may come up with a big theme. Somebody may call and say, hey, my husband, he's an attorney, but he's also like a big game hunter, and he loves to golf. Well, I'll run with one of those ideas for like the actual shadow itself. I may decide to put a photo of a big bull elk. I may decide to give him a photo of a bison or a couple of horses. The cool thing about this shadow art is I'm actually starting with a 2D image in mind. I'm starting with a very simple image of a horse. I'm starting with a very simple image, of a bison, or a very simple image that was provided to me of a guy riding a Harley, in front of the Tulsa skyline or something. And that's my start. And then the goal is to just take a bunch of ugly metal and shape it to where I'm literally drawing on a wall as I'm going along, but I'm drawing with a shadow. The idea now with the evolution of this is, as I'm building these things, I'll add a couple of Easter eggs, here and there. But the idea is still to just kind of have a conversation piece that hangs out wherever, home, living room, man cave, bar. Most of these, I've had a couple of these go to women, but most of these are kind of going to, they're going to the guy that has everything. It's something cool that we're going to do, and here it is. Right now, I am working through 3 pieces right now that I've got on the books. All of these are commission only. You can see existing work. I have an Instagram page. It's steel_shadows. I've got a website, which is steel-shadows.com. More people can just find Ace Cuervo. I'm all over Facebook and everything else, and my photography business is still kicking. I'm not doing anything with that, but right now these are fun. But people can just reach out and talk to me about them, and we can brainstorm some ideas and come up with something and get them on the books.